Kelly Ann, and welcome to a Flossy Friday. I have some stuff to share with you. I have some whips. I have a new start, and I do have two finishes, but I can't show them quite yet. I don't like this angle. I think that's better. I could just get the shaking to stop. So I have, but I do still have things to show you, and I also have some hauls. So this is stuff that I thought was going to be here last week, and it wasn't because it was shipped out the day after the fabric that I received last week. And in that time period, whenever we had all the rain, and I might have mentioned this in last week's video, I'm not quite sure, but the roof of the main Houston distribution post office center collapsed, like in the middle of the day during all the rain. So a lot of things had to be rerouted. So things took a little bit longer to get here. Nobody's fault. So I have them today, and I'm really excited about them. So let's get into it. Let me really quick talk about the finishes that I cannot show you quite yet. I've briefly talked about it the last few videos, but I am doing a really cool deal with Pictures Plus, and I'm going to be able to show them to you like by the end of next weekend. So I'm finishing up probably the last one that I'm going to be able to get to, and then I'm gonna get to record the video and all that. And so the information will be on my YouTube channel, but also my Instagram. So check both places, and also check out their Instagram and stuff like that. So it'll be really cool, and I'm really excited about it. And so hopefully y'all like what's happening. Anyways, not a big deal. Okay, so let's talk about whips, and I'll talk about this one first because I've kind of casted it off to the side. So this week has been a week emotionally. I'm fine now, but you know, sometimes we just have those weeks. Just a lot happened, and you know, anniversaries and a funeral and just conversations you don't expect, you know, things just happen. So, but it's all good now, but I did take a day and a half a break from stitching. So I'm excited to stitch tonight. It'll be the first time since Wednesday at lunch. So, I just needed a mental like refresh basically. So, okay. My lunchtime stitch this week, so I stitched on it for 3 days this week, was my Ursula Michael Let's Wine. I'm pretty sure this is on 16 count. It's possibly 14. I'm honestly not quite sure. It could be 18. I'm almost positive it's 16. Actually, you know what? My project information Excel document is pulled up. I don't know why I'm just not looking at it like a smart person. Because I'm not always intelligent, or like possibly too intelligent for my own good. Okay, I don't remember what year I started this, clearly. Oh, there it is. Okay, I started it last year. It is on 16 count. Okay, wow. All right, so I was putting away threads, so my laptop is also sitting next to me. Okay, so I worked on this, so I finished some more of the colors. I only have 4 colors left, so I have some yellow to put in the green grapes, and then I have white like dots to put in the middle of all the grapes, and then I have a dark red to put in the pink and purple grapes, and then I have all the outlining. Oh, I also have some of the dark green for like the leaves and like in between the grapes and stuff, and then I have green and the dark red outlining to make them look like grapes. The only thing is that from right here, so this whenever I counted over for this leaf and this little green dot right here, I went in too far by 1 row. So just this little area right here is off by 1 column, not a row. It's in the right spot, like height-wise, but width-wise, it's off. So I'm kind of like fudging it, and so I'm probably gonna outline the little tip last because I've got to figure out how to fudge that. But by the time I realized, I knew it was off, but by the time I realized how it was off, I was like, yeah, I'm not fixing that. But I'm almost done. And then I can send this off to my cousin to go live with the beer one. So that's the goal. I could probably work on this weekend and get it finished, but I'm just going to keep on taking it to lunch because it's not my favorite, but it's to the point where it's not so annoying to read the pattern. So there's that. It's great to not be so annoying, right? Okay, I'll do my new start in a minute. Okay, so I did work a little bit on the Gone Baddie Sal, but by a little bit, so I did stitch about 20 stitches Wednesday night, and then just things happened, and I needed an emotional mental break. So, it's life. We all need those, okay? So, I put in about 20 stitches around his nose. I have actively picked this up to stitch on the white. I'm trying to finish around his nose so that way, I have it right here. Because again, I've still never made a working copy of this. And at this point, I don't think I need a working copy. So I need to do his little like mouth outline and his ear up here. I'm sorry, his ear over here. So in the pink. So I'm trying to get the white around his mouth finished just so that way I can stitch the last ear and do the outline of that. And then I'm going to go ham on white, and then come in and finish off his little whiskers in like, it's 3866, but it's kind of, you know, like a sandy ecru type color. So I am actively working on that because I really do want to get that into the mail for Trisha. It's just taking me a long time. That's a big cat. It's a lot of cat. It's a lot of cat. I should have finished stitching him first because all the rest went so fast, and now I'm like dragging my feet with all the white. So there's that. Okay, so my next whip is When Life Is Done by Silver Creek Samplers, and I am stitching this on an 18 count piece of Ada that I dyed as the dyed panda, and I named it Arabian Sun because it kind of reminded me of like the color story of like Arabian Nights and Aladdin, the Disney animated version, and things like that. And I dyed it a really long time ago, so honestly I don't remember how I got this coloring splatter, but I'm pretty close to just having the words left. So I need to finish her dress. I need to fill in the tombstone and finish the grass that comes like right here and over. So and then I just have words left. So I have a lot left, but dense stitching I don't have as much left. But this dress is dense and it's big, and that grass is dense and it's big. So I have worked on this some. I don't know if it's gonna officially be put away for right now or not. I might still just leave it out in my stitchy area to work on it when I feel like it. Basically, because this next week is going to be October, and I have some plans for October, but we'll talk about that. So I had a new start this week as well, which I wasn't planning, but I'm doing a stitch along with Trisha for our Needleworker ABCs, and she wrote me on Saturday and she was like, I need a new start. Let's start our Needleworker ABCs. And I was like, all right. You talked me into it. Like, it really didn't take much like teeth pulling like at all. And so we both started our Needleworker ABCs. Unfortunately, hers wasn't gonna fit well on the band, so she is doing hers on different fabric. But we did both start them on Saturday. And hers, the little person, is so cute. She's doing the Hardin Perive version of the Needleworker ABCs, which it's much more in depth. There's a lot to it, but it's so beautiful. It's really pretty. So, but this one is by the Little House Needleworks. And this fabric is a 27 count Mill Hill band, like bell pull style fabric. So the only thing, so I have changed around like some of the colors. So the hoop was supposed to be the darker brown with the gold like thing up here, but which is accurate, but in my experience, more of my hoops, especially like my older ones that I have from like my grandmother who stitched and stuff like that, her hoops were always like a lighter wood color, and then like this part would be like no longer shiny and would look like tarnished and kind of gross. So I did flip the colors on that, and then the initial color that I pulled for the gray in this was way too light. You couldn't tell a difference of it between the cream color. This heart looked like it didn't exist, so I had to pull that out and stitch something else. And then I changed the buttons to be brown because there is a lot of the cream color in this pattern, and I just want to add more vibrancy to it. So I did make the buttons brown, but they are stitched with little white threads. And then these stitches in the hoop are also supposed to be white, and I changed them to the pink to keep throwing that pink in there, but I did leave those. So I have changed a little bit. I did change the color palette I didn't change it drastically, but I did change what colors I was going to use compared to the DMC conversion that was called for, if that makes sense. And I did make the letters blue. I didn't want them to be white and brown. So I did make some changes, but I also made changes. This is the color palette that I wanted to do even before I found this band to stitch it on. But I loved this band even more because it fit the color scheme that I wanted to go with. So that is why this is like this. But I started it on Saturday evening whenever I got home, and I worked on it some on Sunday. And so that's how far I got. I am also leaving this one out in my stitchy area because this one is going to be like a fun one to like pick up and work on. Like if I don't want to work on something so structured, because basically, and I've talked about this before since by doing the entire series over this last year. So like the 4 seasons of the ABC series by Little House Needleworks, I like to do them in like chunks. So like I did A, B, and C, and then I moved the hoop, and I was able to fit D through H in my hoop. And so then I moved it down again. I'm gonna be able to make like the whole next section, which is where the house is, which also that's the hardest part to get through on these. Those houses have so many stitches in them, and most of the houses have been white or like cream, which I like to stitch a lot of things apparently with big blocks of either black or white apparently. But it's fine because they look great, but it's not so fun always while you're actually stitching. But I've been leaving that out because it's one that like I could easily like pick up on, and like if I needed like a break from one of the other projects, I could just like stitch the letters one night, because they go rather fast, and then do a little bit on the house another night, you know what I mean? So like I do it in blocks of like the chunks of like motifs. So it's one that I like leaving out because it's easy if I need like a break from heavier stitching amounts on projects. So okay, so let's do haul, and then we'll talk about the birthday stitch along and all that. So I got my fabric of the month, my Baker's Dozen, and so this month is Tycho, and again 32 count Lugana from Pictures Plus. I'm in a Baker's Dozen for this year. I was last year. So I get a new fabric every month, but in December I'll get 2. So buy 12, get 1 free, basically. I really, really like this. This is from Needlecraft Corner in Maryland. My ring just went off. This is from Needlecraft Corner in Maryland. Dreama puts it together with Pictures Plus. But Tycho is really hard to see what the coloring is. It just looks white on camera. So let me put like, if you put like a shadow on it, you can kind of see that modeling. It's like a very light blue based gray, or like really like a blue and brown based gray. But you can see the modeling if I put it, if I like shade it. But it is a nice piece. I have used it before, but part of me wants to like splatter paint all over it, which maybe. Okay, my free gift for this month. I don't always show the free gift, but this month, sometimes I remember and sometimes I don't. The free gift this month is one of these cute little bags. I actually really like these. I have a bigger one that I possibly got last year in the Fabric of the Month Club. I'm not really sure where I got it, but I use it for my quilting stuff. I have a fully cut quilt in a larger one of these. I really like these. They're mesh, they're colorful, you can see through them. I really do like these bags. They have really nice zippers. They tend to usually be made very well, or that's what I think. So yeah, I have a smaller one, which is really cool. And then my second fabric order came in. So these are all 18 count. These are also all Pictures Plus, but I got a couple of new colors. This is Cherub. So hopefully like you can see some of these colors and like see how you can like think outside the box, with like smalls or smaller patterns and things like that. Because you don't have to do everything on plain white or neutral fabrics or what's called for. If you think about it, I change almost everything up all the time because it's fun. And some I keep exactly the same, but a lot of them I change because you have to put your own spin on them. And nobody's gonna come knock on your door and be like, you can't stitch that on that. So it's cool to experiment with different color fabrics and threads and things like that. So hopefully some of these spark your curiosity of doing that. And these are 1/8 cuts, so they're smaller, so you can do smaller projects or minis and things like that on them, and they're perfect for it. This is the color Jazz, so it's like a blue with purple streaks on it. Very pretty. Then we have like a solid like light green. This one's called Jade. I really like this color. It's really pretty. Really pretty. And then we have Sprite. And Sprite is like a really light purple. Like gray purple. Really pretty. Has a little bit of pink in there, it seems, too. Okay, and the last bit of haul is Holiday Hoopla Thanksgiving. So Heather, we need to figure it out. We need to come up with a weekend. No, like literally there's only 3 weekends that I'm available, and there's only like 2 weekends that she might be available. So we're trying to get together for a weekend to stitch, because we have to stitch Halloween and now we have to stitch Thanksgiving. So we've been getting together a couple times this year. I think we've already gotten together 2 or 3 times. I honestly can't remember. And every time we stitch a holiday hoopla in a day. So it's really fun. I do want to I already know that I want to change up some of these colors. Like, it's just a lot of brown for me. So, these quilt squares or quilt stars, I want to make like a blue, like a dark, rich blue color. And I'm thinking about honestly changing up the pumpkin. You know, there's blue pumpkins, there's green pumpkins, there's pink pumpkins, there's warty pumpkins. I'm not going to do a warty pumpkin on a turkey, but I think it'd be kind of cool to do like the pastel pink one, or maybe like the pastel green one or something like that. And just change him up and make him a little bit weirder than he already is. Okay, so that's everything that I have to share or talk about, except for next week starts October. And I am creating a hashtag for my birthday for whenever I work on the 2 Blackbird designs that I want to start next month. Doesn't mean I'm going to start and finish them next month, although that would be really cool. I have a better chance of finishing up one than the other, because the other, I re-looked at it and it is not big, but it is heavy stitching. But so the hashtag is going to be hashtag KABB So Kelli Ann Birthday Bash Sal or Kelli Ann Blackbird Sal. So the 2 patterns that I really want to start in the month of October for my birthday are both Blackbird design patterns. The first one is Octopus Garden. The second is Feast of Friendship. I would love it if you wanted to stitch either of those 2 with me, or if they're already a whip of yours and you want to make a priority to work on it in the month of October, please use the hashtag. It will be so much fun to see what other people are working on. But if you don't want to stitch either of those 2 patterns, you can still join in the fun, because BB, Birthday Bash, or Blackbird, stitch any Blackbird design pattern to just stitch with me in the month of October for my birthday. And there are other things that I want to work on in the month of October. I really want to finish Gone Batty. I have to finish this last surprise for the Pictures Plus thing. I, if anything, need to finish the witch for sure. Possibly the turkey. I'm probably still going to work on Needleworker ABCs because it's sitting here. I want to finish that. Once that is done, my new lunch stitch will be the hands-on designs, Year of Celebration, November and December, because I need to get those finished and FFO'd for the final, for the final month of the year. If at all possible, I want to work on my Lizzie Kate's Halloween rules. I would love to work on my Primitive Hair, the Witches of Salem. I would also love to work on Quaker Gone Haunted. I have other things that I would love to work on, but over all the Halloween stitching and whatnot, I really want to start those 2 Blackbird designs and put a good amount of focus time on them in the month of October. So we will see what happens with that, but I want to give them a good solid 3, possibly 4 days out of every week towards those, because I really, really love them. So hashtag KABBSal, and either work on Octopus Garden or Feast of Friendship with me, or any Blackbird design. But just, it'd be really cool if you'd use the hashtag, because I would love to see what y'all are working on. But that's about it. I hope that y'all liked this recap of the last week. And let me know what y'all are working on and anything else going on. I appreciate y'all being here so much, and leaving super sweet comments and like reaching out on Instagram and all that. Just know I respond to every message that I see. Very rarely does one get unseen, but I usually eventually find it. But I respond to everyone, and I just really appreciate it, and I really enjoy the interaction, and I hope that y'all do too. And just keep stitching and have a great weekend and week, and I will see y'all for sure next Friday, possibly before, so we'll see. Bye guys.